Shalom, shalom. This is the brother Ramawan from GMS London Forecasters. First and foremost, as always, I want to say Kal Halal Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Rakakwadash. I want to say double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and salutations, peace and blessings to the Arkim out there, the brothers doing the work in the name of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, bringing out the prophecies in these dark times, man, because we're in dark times now, ever more so. All right, and there's a penultimate point to this, man. All right, and we're gonna get into that now. There's gonna be a third world war. All right, as prophesied in the scriptures, man. Okay. So so this is a little article here because you've got there's basically like three main powers out there in the world right now. All right, you have obviously Babylon, aka America. You have Russia, Magog, according to the scriptures, and you have China, man, or Moab, man, and Moab believes it's on the up and up, about to take over the world. We're about to take Esau's position, and right now, as you can read here, they are building up. They're stockpiling, man. They're stockpiling their cache of nuclear weapons, man, of ICBM'S. All right. So it says, can't remember the name of this website. Oh, South China Morning Post, right? So this is a Chinese website, man, so to speak. Or speaking of Chinese news, anyway, it says China expanding nuclear arms stockpile in 2021. Swedish think tank says. So it says here, Russia and the United States still dominate with more than 90% of the world's warheads. Report says. All right. So yeah, Russia and the United States are still in the game, and they have to be, man, because they're going to be the imposing factors in this world war, man. This third world war. It says China is modernizing and expanding its nuclear weapons stockpile, but it still has a fraction of the inventory held by the United States and Russia, according to researchers at a Sweden-based global security think tank. All right, and that's what they know, because remember that communist is a communist state, so as they call it, and they're very secretive. So they only know what you want them to know, man. It says, releasing its 2021 yearbook on Monday, the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute said China had 350 warheads this year, up from 320 last year. So even so, that's a massive hike, man. All right, it's a massive hike. So they've been doing the work. They've been putting the work in. It said Russia still led the world with 6,255 warheads, and the US was second with 550, despite both countries reducing their stockpiles during the year. It says Russia and the US also increased the number of warheads placed on missiles or located on bases with operational forces. Both are estimated to have around 50 more nuclear warheads in operational deployment at the start of 2021 than a year earlier. So they're supposed to be reducing them, but they're increasing them, man. And you know why? Because this is the spirit, man, of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, man. The Lord is making this happen. Right? Because ultimately those nuclear weapons, and this we're talking about the Lord of Hosts, man, the Lord of Armies, man. He is the biggest warlord, man. All right, Yahweh Shai, the biggest warlords, man. All right, they controlling all of this. It says the report comes just days after China criticizes the US over plans to deploy missiles and defensive systems in neighboring countries. So I'm going to try and jump around a little bit because I just want to get into the scriptures because I've got a few. I don't want to drag this out. So it says the SIPRI researchers said that overall the number of deployed nuclear warheads rose from 3,720 in 2020 to 3,825 this year. Of those, around 2,000 were in a state of high operational alert. North Korea did not conduct nuclear tests or long-range ballistic missile tests during 2020, but it continued production of fissile material and development of short and long-range ballistic missiles. The world's 9 nuclear-armed states, the US, Russia, Britain, France, China, India, Pakistan, Israel, and North Korea together possessed an estimated 13,080 nuclear weapons at the start of 2020, 320 fewer than the estimate for a year earlier. The decrease happened mainly because of the US and Russia dismantling retired warheads, the report said. So they only got lowered the count because those warheads were basically outdated, man. Alright? And you see how the state of Israel's involved in that? This very small place. The question is, how do they achieve such power? Well, we know, but that's another lesson. So let's get into the scriptures, man, because there's going to be some major destruction, right? I'm going to start in Revelation. So Revelation 9 and 12 says, one woe is past, right? And what does woe mean, man? Let's get into it right quick.
Strong's G 3759. Uai. Uai.
Well, sometimes this blue letter is a bit of a letdown, but we know what woe means, man. It means, destruction, all right? So it says, one woe is past, and behold, there come 2 woes, more hereafter, right? So that woe is talking about World War I, man. That's the biggest destruction that the earth had seen at the time, all right? That was a war between a lot of nations, man. Not all nations, like a lot of nations on the earth, man, causing a lot of death and destruction, all right? So we jump to Revelation 11, and 14, it says, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. Right, let's see if the definition is here. Might as well check. Because that was weak. No, still. But anyway. Okay, hold on. Sometimes you have to do it this way. So here it says, misery resulting from affliction, intense mournfulness. Well, yeah, because the affliction is going to be severe, man. All right? Intense mournfulness, because there's going to be there's going to be death upon death upon death, pure destruction that these eyes on this earth have never seen, all right? It says, and the 7th angel sounded, and there were great voices in heaven saying, the kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of our Lord and of his Hamashiach, and he shall reign forever and ever. Yeah, man. He shall reign forever. In fact, let me just jump back to 9 a second. I just want to check something. No, that's fine. Yeah, so that second woe, right? That second woe, let me read that again. It says, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. So that's World War II, right? and they're coming quickly. You got to think about it. This has happened in the space in between 2 centuries. This will be happening in between 2 centuries, man. There's still places on the earth that shows you the damage that was caused by that Second World, that was caused by that World War II, man. All right, monuments are still around. So yeah, man, this whole stockpiling of these nukes, man, this is for this World War III, man. It says Joel 3:1. It says, "For behold, in those days, and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem," meaning the Lord is going to bring us out of captivity, man. All right. "I will also gather all nations, and will bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat," man. And that word is Yehoshaphat, right? That meaning the Lord's judgment, man. Let's get that real quick.
Strong's H 3092. Yehoshaphat. Yehoshaphat.
Yahweh has judgment, right? Yahweh's judgment, all right? This is what this is about. This is the judgment that's coming, man. All right? It says, "And I will plead with them, therefore my people." In fact, let's get that word plead, because that confuses a lot of people. All right.
Strong's H 8199.
And there we have it.
Shaphat. Shaphat.
So, what's it mean? To judge, govern, vindicate, punish. So you could even say Yahweh's punishment, man. In Yehoshaphat. All right. To execute judgment. So this is not the Lord begging, because the Lord ain't going to beg nothing from nobody. It doesn't need to. He's the Almighty. Right? This is about Him. Judging the nations, man. "And I will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink." And not only did that happen during slavery, man, but that's still happening now. All right, you got these jakes up in the record industry, man, selling their souls and their they're selling their arse basically, man. Right, and same with the women up in that industry, man. That's one way that they're casting these lots, man. Right. It says they have cast. That's verse. It's like a verse 4 says, "Yea, and what have you to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coasts of Palestine? Will ye render me recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head? Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things." That's talking about us, man. Right, so this is basically the Lord taking up for Israel, man. Because although He's put us in this punishment, He's pissed at what He's done to us, man, because we're special people, man. It says, "The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border. Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, which is all over the earth, and will return your recompense upon your own head." All right. I want to read on, but I just want to get some other scriptures. So let's get into the destruction, man. Isaiah 13. It says, "The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah, the son of Amos, did see, right? So yeah, man, the burden of Babylon, because ultimately this is the only place that's going to be remain desolate is Babylon, man, aka America, that wicked place, man. All right. It says, verse 2, it says, lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand, that they may go into the gates of the nobles. I have commanded my sanctified ones, I have also called my mighty ones for my anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. All right. And who's rejoicing in the highness, man? The prophets, man, and those that believe in, truth and in sincerity on Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man, who know who they are, who know that they're Israelites, all right, and they know who their power is. It says, the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua of hosts mustereth the host of the battle. All right. So this is the gathering, man, the gathering of nations to come to this come to a head, so to speak. It's going to kick off. It says, they come from a far country, verse 5, they come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. Yeah, because these weapons, remember, these are going to be troops invading countries, man. They don't need to do that. Now, those times are over. We're talking about missiles coming from one country going into another. All right. It says, "How ye, for the day of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt." Yeah, man. People ain't ready for this, man. This is going to be the most destructive force that's ever occurred on this earth, and people are going to be, in such fear that you've never felt it, that sort of kind of fear before. It goes on to say, it says, "And they shall be afraid, pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed at one another. Their faces shall be as flames," man, because they're about to get burnt up, man. All right. In fact, let me just jump to one. I'll jump back to this. All right, man. So, Zechariah 14:12 says, "And this shall be the plague." Yeah, just read it from there. "This shall be the plague wherewith the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth." All right. So that's that burning up, man. We've all seen the movie. We talk about it all the time because it's a great reference, man. Because it shows you that these people in the movie industry, they got the understanding of what it is like to feel that flame of fire from the nuclear weapons, man. Remember Sarah Connor, Terminator 2, having that dream, right? That wasn't a dream, man. That was a vision she was having. And she was standing there, she saw the blast, that blinding light, and then she's holding onto the fence. And what happens, man? She's standing on her feet, and then it burnt away her flesh, and then her eyes, and her tongue burnt out, man. She's standing there, and then she couldn't stand anymore, man. She's basically already dead on her feet, and her skeleton fell to its knees, man. That's what's coming. All right, that's how people are gonna die, man. Now, in that moment in time, that immense pain is gonna be something that people would never, obviously, no one be able to withstand such pain, man. But it's going to be intense, all right? It's going to be intense. Let's jump back to Isaiah. Finish that off. Isaiah 13. Where was I? Yeah. So yeah, man. So it says their faces shall be as flames. We just read that. It says, behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. Right? It says, for the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. And and Morpheus talks about that in the Matrix, man, when he said they darkened the sky, man, with their nukes, man, to try and block out the sun, to stop the machines from having any source of power. All right, it's gonna be a dark day, man. It says, I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud, which is Esau, to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible, which is also Esau. And I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of a fear. And that man he's talking about is Jake, man, the Israelites. Right? It says, therefore, I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place. And in the wrath of the Lord, Yahweh shall of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger. Right? So yeah, I just want to get the point there. Because I've got a few more scriptures I want to get into. Yeah, man, so the earth is going to shake, man, because of all the missiles popping off, the destruction that's going to be occurring, explosions everywhere. Alright. Book of Jeremiah, let's get into that real quick. Jeremiah 50:9 says, for lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken, their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. And those arrows are the missiles, man. They are gonna plot a course. Nothing's gonna be able to stop them, man. Alright, no malfunctions, no aborting of the shot. Alright? They're gonna reach their target, man. Alright? And that target is Babylon the Great, man. AKA America. It says, and Chaldea shall be a spoil. All that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith the Lord. Yeah. Because ye were glad, because ye rejoiced, O ye destroyers of mine heritage, because ye are grown fat as the heifer at grass, and bellow as bulls. Your mother shall be sore confounded. Who's the mother of Babylon, man? It's this where I reside right now. The so-called Great Britain. Alright? It says, your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert. It says, because of the wrath of the Lord Yahweh it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished, and hiss at all her plagues. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows. For she hath sinned against the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Shout against her round about. She hath given her hand, her foundations are fallen, her walls are thrown down, for it is the vengeance of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Take vengeance upon her as she hath done. Do unto her. Yeah, man. So this is This is all boiling up to the destruction of Babylon, man. This is what all these missiles are for, right? Let me just see if I can squeeze 2 more. Yeah. Zephaniah 1 and 14 says, the great day of the Lord is near. It is near and hasteth greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord. The mighty man shall cry there bitterly. Yeah, man, even these brave, heroic men on this earth, man, are going to be weeping and wailing in that day, man. They haven't got what it takes for what's coming, all right? It says that day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. Now that doesn't sound good at all, does it? In fact, that sounds like the most terrible day that could possibly ever happen. It says a day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers, and I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Lord Yahweh Shai, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung. That's a lot of death, man. That's talking about a lot of death and destruction. Bodies. It says, neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath, right? Amen. Your money is not going to be able to save you, and that goes to you elites, man. All right, you're not going to be able to be saved, man. Some of you are going to be in your bunkers, right? We know that, but you're going to get dragged out of there, man. Those of you who make it there, neither their silver, neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath. But the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy, and that fire is coming from them nukes. For he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land, because it's going to be over in no time. And last one, quickly. I'm trying not to breach the half-an-hour mark. This is the last one. I'm just going to get to the point real quick. Isaiah 9 and 5 says, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, like close quarter combat, man. Maybe swords, shields, spears, and arrows as well. That's the old ways, man. But now we're in the new ways, man. You know, the technology that the Lord has given Esau, man. All right, this is his blessing. The sword, man. The modern day sword is the gun, and an extension of that, the most powerful gun is a missile. Because it shoots, but it takes out multiple targets instead of just one. It says, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. And actually, I'm going to get one more. It just came into my mind. If I can find it. I can't think where it is right now. Just like this is it. Isaiah 54. This shows you, man, that this is the Lord's. These belong to the Lord, right? These nukes, all right. Isaiah 54:6 said, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy. All right. So that says it all. The Lord created these men. All right. Esau thinks that this is a creation, but we're dealing with the Lord of hosts, man. All right. The Lord of war. He is the God of war. All right. So with that, I pray this was edifying. And as always, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Kahalon Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. I'll say Shalom, Wa Baba Ball, and Kwame Yasharala. Shalom.